Alrighty, hey, hi, hello, welcome back, Alexandrine Codex. It's the last week of the month, so naturally that means it's sad boy hours all up in this bitch. Fittingly, we're gonna hop in, play a little bit of Islanders, and vibe for a little while. So let's hop in. I don't really want to fuck with the webcam right now, so I'm not gonna be doing that. It has been not a bad month. I think not a bad month. To be fair to it, not at all bad month. Just, the latter half has been a bit rough. A bit bumpy. Today was not a very exciting day. It wasn't bad by any means. It was quiet, slow, calm, soft. And oftentimes when I have days like that, days like today, I'm appreciative of them. But today, well, silence is what you bring to it. Stillness is what you bring to it. If you are going to be meditating, if you're going to be thinking, if you're going to be processing, well, you're gonna get what you bring to the table. And in truth, what I brought to the table today was, were things I suppose that I have been avoiding. Yeah, things I've been avoiding broadly. Difficult conversations, difficult relationships, changes in relationships, doubt, fear, anxiety, insecurity. I had not noticed, honestly, had not noticed it onsetting. It was a slow onset. But insecurity, I think, is making its itself quite at home right now. I'd like to find it somewhere else to stay. I sat down this evening to work on something. I hadn't really set down in my mind what exactly it was I wanted to work on, only that I wanted to work on something. I wanted a bit of productivity. And so I opened one thing in the background to start listening to educational material while I worked. And while sufficiently educational, it made me feel as if I had been wasting my time trying to learn something that I've been trying to learn lately, trying to acquire a skill I've been acquiring, because it's not a quick thing, and it's not an easy thing, and in this moment, an atmosphere of insecurity that I'm living in right now, that lack of quick satisfaction, that lack of quick feedback, that daunting long-term puzzle and task in front of me outshone and overshadowed all of the joy of the work, of the progress, of the lessons, of the confidence that studying and practicing and diligence had bought me and wrought me, that I had made for myself. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I say this so often because it's so true. It's so, so true. And I'm sitting with that today. It's not such a terrible thing all the time. Comparison is also how we gain context, how we gauge differences. Up, down, left, right. White, dark. It helps us frame the world around us. Helps us see and conceptualize things like beauty. In life, you need contrast. You need comparison. My God, I didn't want it today. I didn't want it today. I'm feeling poorly about myself. Not, I think, in any particular specific way. A handful of ways. Oh, a handful of ways. A handful of ways that all kind of fed one to the other, into the other, one into the next, into the next. As you do, you know. I think we all feel those insecurities sometimes. I say I think, really, I have to believe and say that I know that we all experience those insecurities sometimes. Some of us more than others. Some of us for seasons. Some of us for years. Some of us have a relationship with insecurity where it's a friend. It's an infrequent friend. Some of us, it's a companion. A burdensome, lifelong companion. I, like most people, vary over time. My moods and tempers and dispositions change with time. Objectively, as much as anything, as much as I can be objective in any laughable conceptualization of the term, I think I'm pretty cool. I do. I like me quite a bit. I'm smart, caring, and passionate. I want to help people. I want to care for people. I want to teach people and share with people and be taught and be shared with. I don't wake up in the morning excited to stroke my own ego. No, I do what I can to give the impression that I'm confident. I do what I can to foster confidence in myself, for myself, to tend to it and water it like a sprout. But some days it's very apparent that it is just a sprout, where I can go from one thing that I've been feeling excellently about to another that I've been feeling excellently about, and as I make my way from task to task, from chore to chore, from source of expression to source of expression, from work to work, I don't feel exceptional. I feel like a pretender. I feel unremarkable. I feel like disappointing. I have looked at the beauty and excellence, wisdom and genius of other people, and tonight I found myself unable to celebrate, unable to sit and applaud uh, others. And that's awful. It's heartbreaking. What I have found is that I am instead predispositioned tonight to take the beautiful, applaudable accomplishments of others and weigh it against myself. And weigh it against myself in ways that aren't fair, that aren't healthy, that aren't helpful, that aren't thoughtful. But I'm thoughtful. At least I'm supposed to be. I'm smart, or at least I'm supposed to be. I'm kind, or at least I'm supposed to be, but I'm gonna be honest with you. These past few days, this past couple of weeks, I've not been feeling kind. I've not been feeling kind at all. I've been feeling tired. I've been feeling scared. I've been feeling insecure, worn down, worried, anxious, confused. I have not been sitting in a place that I like to sit in emotionally. I like to be in a position of security and be able to share that security with other people. I like being in a position of strength and using that strength to the benefit of myself and others. Lately, though, I suppose things have just felt laborious. I have been visited often, frequently, and with great intensity by insecurity. Not an air of insecurity, a specific targeted insecurity. A fear of abandonment more than anything else. A fear of boring people, of tiring people, of people finally getting sick of my shit and getting rid of me. And this feeling has not just been rearing its ugly head in like a romantic context, though it has, nor has it only been in a professional context, though it has. It's been both. It has snuck its way into my heart in most of my relationships, in most aspects of my life. And I'm having a hell of a time with it. I'm working on it, I'm giving it space, processing what I'm feeling, not pushing difficult feelings away. But that doesn't make it easy. That certainly doesn't make it easy. I've reached out on occasion, to the people in my life who I care about, who I love and respect, asking for affirmation. But in truth, I'm not doing it enough. I've done it a handful of times. But the thing is, you know, the people I love are going through things on their own. And I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be a bother. And I certainly feel like one. Oh! Twitch went down. Well, hey, I guess this is a YouTube exclusive in terms of sad boy vibes. What that? Oh, now it's back. Well, I'm sure no one will miss that. I pointedly did not announce going live tonight. I did not share with folks that I was streaming. This was really a spur of the moment type deal. Yeah, I'm having trouble even having fun. Because fun things I want to share with people. And then I feel like I'm taking up oxygen and sharing. I feel guilty for wanting the love and attention and affection and affirmation of other people. Because I feel like I shouldn't need it. At the root of it, that's what it is. I feel like I shouldn't need it. I feel like I should be able to get along okay on my own, that I should be fine on my own, that I should just tough it out. And this is not a unique thing to me that I'm describing. I know that this is a familiar thing for many people, especially people, AMAB folks, brought up in fairly toxic conceptualizations of what it means to be masculine, what it means to be good or desirable or strong, permissible even. I was listening this morning to someone speaking on the subject, talking about particularly the tendency of that kind of willful self-sacrifice. The putting aside of things that you want, that you need, that you love, things that would make you happy, things that you want, and telling yourself, no, it's not that important, I don't need it that badly, I don't want it that badly, I don't want to be a bother. Talking about that in the lens of particularly an observed trans experience for trans women. And how even after transitioning for years, that unlearning that toxic masculine trait taught to a lot of people when we're quite young is such a labor. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it very much right now. I'm taking things that I want, and I'm not asking for them. I'm taking the people that I want, and I'm not bothering them. I'm trying to act like I'm indifferent. Well, not indifferent, just act like I'm not needy. Not needy. I'm trying to act like I don't want to spend time with them all the time, and that I'm not craving their attention and presence. And want my friends to think that I'm okay and that I'm holding things together well. I don't want to bother them. I don't want to worry them. I'm sure I do that enough already. And the people who love me, the people who care about me, my friends included, I don't like not being in a great place. I don't like being insecure. I don't like being scared. I don't like being... I'm not even depressed, is the thing. If I were depressed, that would be such a familiar thing, but anxiety and insecurity and depression don't always go hand in hand. And they're not right now. They're not. I want so badly to be able to speak fucking poetry. I want to open my mouth and have Providence pour out. I wish I knew the way to say things, using precisely the right terms so that you could understand me without a shadow of a doubt. Not in theory, not in notion, not the idea of what I'm saying, but actual understanding. Emotional resonance. Intuitive connection. I don't have the words. Oh, I pride myself on being poetic, I'm being expressive, I'm being so much, but I don't have the words. I'm trying to learn the words. I'm trying to learn fucking song and dance, and some days it feels like I'm learning it wrong. That it doesn't matter, and it'll never be good enough. I'm doing fine. There's things I should do today before today's over. Things I should check. People I should reach out to. Balls that I need to keep in the air. Things I need to keep juggling. I'll be honest with it, I don't fucking want to. I don't want to. I want to curl up in bed in the warm arms of somebody who loves me. I want to spend quiet, still moments lost in somebody else, focusing on someone besides myself. Oh, that's right, I'm not so self-unaware that I don't see or understand how my anxiety can express itself in ways that can be pleasing to other people. I think the truth of the matter is a lot of folks like people with depression, just so long as our depression symptoms don't flare up. People like folks with anxiety just so long as they keep quiet about it. Because people with depression, people with anxiety, people who have a feeling of wanting to prove their worth, people who have a feeling of wanting external affirmation, wanting to please other people, to get it, to perform, to be told that they're good. the end product of those feelings can be pleasant, pleasing, pleasurable for other people. And for the anxious person, for the depressed person, for the person seeking external affirmation, it can be satisfying. It can be gratifying for a while. But forever? Is it enough to live off of? Is it enough to fill your lungs with air? Is it enough to make the world light and bright forever? No. No, it's a drip feed. It's a drip feed, and what's worse is over time you can grow more and more immune. More and more used to it. It's so easy to feel like good things are addictive when you have a personality or an emotional state that makes you predispositioned to addiction, to fixation. I think a lot of us want life to be more cut and dry than it is. Want to be able to go and say, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. And have that sense of security. But we don't get it. We don't really get it. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes just feeling okay for a little while is good enough. Sometimes quieting the hungry worries, doubts, staving it off, trying to be comfortable just a little bit longer, sometimes that feels like it's enough. And is it? Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't have that answer. Certainly don't pretend to. No, I don't have a lot of answers. Right now I have a lot of feelings, I have a lot of statements, I have a lot of things I'm spending exhausting amounts of time thinking about the answers. I don't think I have a lot of those. I made plans today to see somebody that I haven't seen in a long time. But it's weeks out. I was hopeful to see them sooner, and they were hopeful to see me sooner, but life conspires sometimes. And life conspires sometimes to bring joy, sometimes to put it just over the horizon. And I didn't sit today in self-doubt and misery, letting it eat me up. Some sort of flesh-eating disease. No, I practiced skills. I made art. I played games with people. I talked to people. I helped other people have fun. I told people and reached out to them, telling them how grateful I am to be in their life, how grateful I am to be in the world with them. I thanked people who have helped me and continued to support me. I gave today a really fucking solid try. So, in reaching the end of the day, and finding that I'm still not there. There being where I want to be. And I'm still bothered by a thing that's been bothering me. that I'm worried about a thing that's been worrying me. That kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. Because like I'm thoughtful and I'm smart as hell. And when I'm feeling good, I'm fucking brilliant. But the thing is, I just don't feel good enough. I don't feel good often enough. I get dragged down and anxious and insecure and needing support. And the people who fall for me and fall in love with me and find me remarkable when I am a remarkable thing see me when I'm less remarkable and attitudes change. I want to make it clear though, I'm not describing that kind of behavior, that kind of change. Something terrible, criminal. Does it hurt? Yeah. Is it lonely? Totally. But I do it too. I do it too. I think we all do. Sometimes things feel too big. That the help that other people need, the support that they want feels beyond us. Feels too much. Suffocating. And even if we love them, even if we care about them, even if we're crazy about them, sometimes it's just too much. I don't think that I'm too much. Not on the whole. Not in totality. But when I'm desperate, when I'm insecure, I'm a lot. I'm intense. Even when I pay attention, and I do pay attention. Even when I'm mindful, and I am mindful. It can be a lot. Man, I wish people were fucking nicer to each other. I wish people were more thoughtful. I've been, you know, contemplating this and other things that have been difficult, and I've been going through some stuff that's been difficult. This has not been the easiest year for me. My God, no. 2023 and 2024 have been harrowing in many regards, but also transformative and monumentally important. And I'm incredibly grateful for so much. But my bandwidth for petty people and insincerity is at a low right now. I just want people to be earnest. I want people to be earnest and vulnerable and open to being wrong, open to learning, open to teaching, instead of acting so damn pretentious and guarded all the fucking time. I'm finding that a lot of my sources of entertainment, my sources of enjoyment, my sources of fun, I turn into work. Surprise. But I do. I do it most often when I'm seeking validation. That's not always a bad thing, but it's not feeling particularly like a good thing, like a thoughtful thing right now. Oh, not at all. Not at all. One of the most difficult and maybe most important skills, I should say, to learn with anxiety, to learn with insecurity, is to think about it. Not feel it, not sit and feel it, though feeling your feelings is very important. To think about it. Do they hate you? Are they sick of you? Are they tired of you? Or is it more realistic that they just have other stuff going on? Are they disappointed in you? Or maybe is it more likely that they have other things on their mind? If they are disappointed in you, wouldn't they talk to you? Wouldn't they bring it up? And if they wouldn't bring it up, what does that say about your relationship? What does that say about your dynamic to begin with? If they have a problem, they'll tell you. And if they don't, then you don't need to worry about it. You can ask, and you can check in. You can say, hey, I've been feeling a certain way. If this is the case, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be an obstruction. But to make the leap and assume that you're a bother, that you're a burden, that you're an obstruction, that you're a problem when no one has told you such. It's not very logical, is it? In fact, it's pretty emotional. It's pretty irrational. Yeah, it's okay. We can all be irrational sometimes. But you have to interrogate these stories and these narratives that anxiety so often has us quietly internalize. You're not a burden. You're not worthless. You're not a waste. People like you. People enjoy having you in their life. Sometimes in big ways, sometimes in small ways. And it doesn't always have to be big and bombastic and dramatic to have worth. God, one of my favorite things is going out into public and just smiling at people. And seeing how infectious it can be. Oh yeah, it's a fucking cliche. Who cares? Suck my dick. It feels good to make one another happy. To alleviate, in some small way, our mutual suffering. God. I think that's what I want out of life more than anything else, is just to care. Just to care. It can be really hard. Committing to caring, committing to being vulnerable, committing to being open is a lot. Is a lot. Because if you open your heart, you open yourself up to other people, well, you're vulnerable. that's scary. And if you're vulnerable, chances are, sooner or later, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt in ways that matter to you. In ways that are hard to brush off and shrug off, in ways that are hard to pretend like you don't care. Because you do. That's okay that you do. It's good that you do. Caring and wanting affection and affirmation and attention and connection is the most normal, healthy thing. If you're sad, if you're lonely, if you're insecure, if you're scared, that's okay. That's okay. The best thing that you can do with that feeling is to feel it, is to recognize it, and is to try to be brave enough to ask the people that you love, to ask the people who love you, to help you with it. And that's hard, and that's scary. Because if you've made a pattern out of closing up, of pushing people away, of shutting down, disassociating, bed rotting, and not bothering people, not talking to people, just going numb. If you made a pattern out of self-isolation and you want to break that pattern, how do you even start? How do you find that first someone to reach out to talk to? Some of us are lucky enough to have families, some of us aren't. Some of us are lucky enough to have very dear friends, and some of us aren't. It's a scary thing. It's a daunting thing, learning to be vulnerable. Daring to be vulnerable. It's something that, to me, always seems very commendable. Does that mean I'm gonna do it? Right now, probably not. No. Tonight, yeah. You know what? No. I'll do it. I'll do it. Kind of hard to talk and type at the same time, so you're getting this. Do you know the best way to deal with insecurity? The best way to deal with depression, to deal with anxiety? You're gonna hate the answer. You're gonna hate the fucking answer. I know I just talked about bravery and the importance of actually reaching out to people and trying. Oh, there's that, and hey, it's good. But to get to that point, gratitude. I know, I hate it too. Such a fucking hippy-dippy ass notion that just being grateful makes things better, but it makes a lot of things better. Not insincere gratitude, not taking your fears and anxieties and concerns and frustrations and pushing them away. No, the opposite. Keeping those things in mind and focusing on, well, okay, I'm sad and you're not talking to me and you're also really distant and you seem too busy for me and you're being really supportive, but I'm afraid it's going to stop spontaneously and I'm going to be caught in free fall and all that. Don't use the gratitude to push the fear away. Just use it to go, hey, you know, I am afraid and I am scared, but stars tonight are beautiful. And I am feeling worried that I'm too abrasive and too impatient and I'm the devil of my own design. But I do like me. And maybe I'm fucking hating going to work and I'm dreading something coming up. But at the same time, I got to sleep in today. I have a roof over my head. I got to listen to the rain. I get to, whenever I want, and whenever I can find the energy, I get to go to the ocean. You really gotta make it small things that you're grateful for. Because life is just a lot of fucking small things. I'm really glad that I ever got the chance to know you. I'm really glad that I ever got the chance to fall in love with you, even if it didn't work. And it didn't work. I'm really lucky to have been so important to someone as smart and caring and charismatic. Someone who taught me so much. And someone who was, I think in the end, so disappointed. So disappointed because you could see the potential and the talent. And you could see it being squandered by maladaptive coping behaviors. And I'm really grateful for my last relationship. Felt like a fucking mess by the end. But you know what? I think I learned so much that's helped me be more open and caring to strangers. It's helped me gain perspectives I wouldn't otherwise have. Would I go back into it? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck hell no, I would not go back into my last relationship. No way in hell, but I recognize that in certain ways it helped to make me a better person. In certain ways it you know, eroded my soul and sense of self-worth, and we were both miserable and making things worse for one another. And we were using one another in different ways, and I think neither of us liked the way that we were being used. But damn, it's made it easier to empathize, to understand things that I didn't understand before, to intuitively get things that I didn't get before, to find certain modes of behavior, certain patterns of behavior, certain personality traits less overwhelming and more easier to hold space for. Again, though, wouldn't go back. Would not go back. So if this were the end, if I were to never speak to you again, I'm really glad I got the chance. I'm really glad that you inspired me a lot. You inspired me, I think, more than people I've been with for years. People that I've loved dearly. People who dearly, passionately, sincerely loved me. That's kind of incredible. If I never speak to you again, if I never hear from you again, and I will, I'll hear from you. We'll talk. My life would have been made so much richer from everything up to this point, even if nothing came after it. See, that's how you turn anxiety into gratitude. That's how you recognize what you're wanting is a continuation of what you had. And what you had can be pretty fucking great. But things change. Stories end. Lives transform. And end. And the thing that you've loved, the thing that you've cherished, the relationship, the job, the dynamic, things change. And it changing, it going away, doesn't mean that it wasn't worth it. It doesn't mean that it wasn't wonderful and beautiful. It doesn't mean that you can't still feel good about those things. It doesn't mean that you won't be loved again. You won't be celebrated again. You won't be held again. Though at some point it will. At some point you won't have another love. You won't have another chance. And if you've spent so much of your time, so many of the years, few scarce years that we get, agonizing over what had been, instead of what you could have now. If you've spent so long tarnishing the memory of the beautiful things in your life by turning them into a tool by which you torment yourself, I think it's pretty clear what you need to do. Love what you can. Celebrate what you can. Cherish what you have while you have it. And when you lose it, because yes, you will lose it eventually. It doesn't matter what it is. You'll lose friends, you'll lose lovers, you'll lose partners, you'll lose family, you'll lose pets, you'll lose jobs, you'll lose your mind eventually. You'll lose memories. You're going to have to let go at some point. And you can decide. You can decide. In fact, no one's gonna decide for you. But you can decide to let go, kicking and screaming, fighting, cussing, putting up fisticuffs, going mano a mano, and doing your damnedest not to go into that, not to go quiet, or you can just be grateful, and you can cherish the thing that has brought you so much joy. And you can tell them that you love them. You can tell them that you're grateful. You can say, hey, this is out of the blue, and I don't want to concern you. I'm not trying to get back together with you. I've been thinking, and I'm really grateful for how much you taught me, how much we did together, how much we were able to grow and learn. I'm so lucky to have been able to spend that time in my life with you. Thank you. So you don't want love out of reluctance? You don't want people hanging around because they feel guilty, because it'll hurt you to leave? No, you want people hanging around because they love you, because they're excited by you. And holding guilt and shame and emotionally manipulating people by going, oh, I'd be so sad, instead of saying, oh, I am so glad. Oh, damn, son, maybe you need to be alone for a little while. Maybe you need to think about the way that you are treating other people. The way that you are appreciating or not your relationships. They're not a tool. They're not a little dopamine button. They're not a little serotonin button. They're not just something you smack and hit to get a good feeling. They're people. Beautifully, exhaustingly, complicatedly, they're people. Just like you. And they can be as erratic or consistent, as flighty or as loyal, as convicted or insecure, or unsure or confident as you are, as you can be. And the best fucking thing you can do for them is be grateful. Grateful that you ever had the fucking time. That you ever shared that space. That you ever shared that intimacy. That you ever shared that connection. Sure, yeah, no, it would suck. It would suck if it went away. But it all goes away eventually. And eventually it does suck. It sucks, man. I've talked myself into like a good aspirational mood, and I kind of wanted to be a sad little bitch. We're almost at an hour, but I got a whole new fucking island. Let's go. I think we're gonna call it here. I think I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for hanging out. Or watching this after the fact. I cannot commit or comment as to when I will have something else up. I was having a lot of fun streaming specific things for a specific audience, an audience of one. And I've mentioned this a couple times, but when I sit down, I'm like, oh, I want to play a game. What recently has been happening is I want to play this game with this person. I don't want to play that game unless this person's around. Because it's so much fun to do with them. In my own time, what that's turned into is I'm not making any content I'm playing stuff that I don't want to make content out of, so I'm not streaming as much. I'm not recording as much. Because between Dawn of Victory and IRL stuff, I don't have that much creative energy left to put out into new projects. So a lot of it just goes into... That's a loud snack. You can eat that literally in a minute, Alex. Literally in a minute. Just wrap this up and you can have the loud crunchy snack. There's an intent, right? There's an intent and a vague aspiration. Hey, I'd like to do something more consistently. But right now, people are really trying my fucking patience at the things I'm already doing consistently. Some of the people in my life that I love the most are going through some hard fucking times, and they are closing themselves off and shutting down in a way that's very familiar to me, and is entirely their right, and is sometimes exactly what you need. Sometimes it's the worst thing you can do, but sometimes it's, you know, you have to... I'm not going to tell people how to be sad, and I'm not going to go and strong-arm them out of being sad. I'm just going to be around, be present, and remind them of that. But it does suck when I'm like, hey, I'd really like to see you. Hey, I'd really like to hang out. Hey, I'd really like to hop on a call sometime. And they're like, life is pain, I want to die. I'm like, hell yeah, fuck. I can't make that go away, and I wish that I could. Life gets better. Not in the sense of, hey, it'll get better eventually, you just gotta keep at it. No, I think genuinely, the longer you keep at it, or at least in my experience so far, it's gotten better. It's gotten more interesting, it's got more nuance, it's got more complicated, or maybe it hasn't. And just the stories that I tell myself about life, about reality, about things, the stories I tell myself have just gotten better and more complicated and more nuanced and more interwoven over time. But like, damn, it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Life is not so bad. It's worth sticking around for. It's worth being genuine. It's worth being earnest. It's worth fucking trying. So be grateful. Be kind, give it your best shot. Until, fuck, man, I don't know. Whenever, tomorrow, maybe? What is tomorrow? What's Tuesday? I don't know what Tuesday. On a Tuesday. Yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday, we might do a little streaming, we might not. But until then, whenever then happens to be, I'm gonna say toodaloo, take care, see you then. Bye-bye. Ciao.